Dear one, together we are going to take a journey. And remember that we are all one. Every single thing in existence is connected through energy, through vibration, through cellular sameness, in many different ways. And there is nothing to fear. We're going to explore the majesty, the beauty of this oneness. Because it's the oneness that is true and real and forever eternal. Everything else comes and goes, rises up and dissipates, appears to be dark or light or right or wrong or whatever form it takes. But before it became form and after it loses its form, it is the oneness. How do I know this? This is my experience. This can be your experience also. And so we're going to journey together to that state, and you can use this as a tool so that one day you can just journey there by yourself or use another tool, some other method. There are many ways to journey to oneness. But it is within every single one of us, within every single manifestation of creation. Science is catching up with spirit. We all know that. So let's begin by relaxing. And the best way to relax is shake your body a little bit, get up and do some stretches. If you need to, put this on pause and stretch. The purpose of doing the poses in yoga, hatha yoga, is to relieve any tension, any pain, any uncomfortability in the body. It is not the purpose to build up a strong set of muscles. It is to alleviate tension so that when you go into the state of meditation, you can more easily reach that realm of oneness. And that's why an asana, which is a pose in yoga, it's called an asana, is the same word as the thing we sit on in meditation. That's our asana. So every pose that we do to strengthen or loosen or whatever your body needs is your asana that eventually takes you to this place where you're ready to sit and become one with everything, the eternal. The words that I'm using are just whatever comes into the experience right now. There are many, many ways of expressing oneness. But it is real, and it is very comforting and very entertaining. And it's better than any drug. It's the highest high. It's the most profound experience. It's the most thrilling, exciting thing that I have ever experienced. And anybody I know who dwells in this realm, the inner life, the spiritual life that we all have within us, agrees with me. So here we go. We're going to start by breathing very slowly, very gently, feeling the breath coming into our nose, feeling it leave our nose. Long breath in and a long breath out. Breathing in and breathing out. If you wish, you can use the belly breathing that we do with intentional mindful breathing. Breathing in, let your belly get big. That's the diaphragm expanding. Breathing out, contract the stomach and breath leaves you more easily. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. By this time, you probably notice things are getting quiet. The rackaroo up there is not so bad. You're focusing on the breath, which keeps breathing you even if you forget to focus on it. Just as your heart continues beating and your eyes continue blinking, these autonomic systems of our body keep us well, keep this body temple functioning well. Let's keep focusing on that breath. If your mind drifts away and you can't hear me anymore, perfect. If you want to come with me as I explain, or I don't like to say guide because we're all together, as I explain my experience, perhaps it will be beneficial to you. I'm not a teacher. I'm just a person who loves to feel oneness. Breath is the bridge. It's like crossing from your lower self to your higher self. When you cross the bridge of the breath, which stills your consciousness, dissipates the nonsensical ramblings of thought which have a purpose, and when you need to think, you want to have clear, focused thoughts, not fearful or anxiety-ridden or shameful or guilty or all those other negatives. You don't want that. That's not who you are. Those are things that were given to you as a challenge, just to make things interesting. And your challenge, like my challenge, was to take each negative as it arises from that pool of eternalness that you are part of. I'm not even talking about what happened to you in your childhood or yesterday. I'm talking about the vibration of the journey. As things arise, You watch them. That's a thought. A thought arises. And you just watch it, and it will dissolve. A thought only has control over the thinker when we, the thinker, allows the thought to have energy. So we don't feed it. We don't give attention to it. We don't even look at it. A beautiful analogy of this process is imagine that your mind, which is consciousness, is like a big, open, vast blue sky. And a thought might appear, and it's wearing the costume of a cloud. And you, your beingness, is flying around this beautiful sky. And you see that cloud, you see its shape, but you just take a detour around it or go through it because it's so transparent, it's so insignificant. And by not engaging with it, not talking to it, not asking it any questions, not debating with it or being at all in relationship with it except to see it, it dissolves. So now we're in the blue sky of your consciousness. If a thought does come and you try to veer away from it, using your angel wings in this angel spirit body of yours, but sometimes the thought is stronger and it wants to speak. It's so important. It needs recognition. It needs to really fuck you up. Well, that's when you come back to the breath. Breathing, focusing, pretending that your breath is like a life raft and you are being saved by this connection with your breath. And it's a beautiful life raft. And there's so much room in there, the life raft. All you have to do is cling to it. Cling to your breath. You'll find yourself going deeper within this journey, this consciousness journey, within your inner being. You might not even need to listen to me anymore. You feel the energy of intrigue. You're curious about this journey that has so many chapters, it's never ending. Some people think it never ends with this lifetime, and it didn't begin at your birth either. It just continues. That feels comfortable to me, but who knows? The mystery of life is what makes life worth living. We don't have to know all the answers. We don't have to know the whys and why nots. What we really want is to explore the infinitesimal and infinite possibilities of consciousness. Up to the very last breath that you are given in this life, you want to be able to explore to the fullest this gift of life. It is a gift. It's a precious gift. Whatever is troubling you is insignificant compared to the truth of oneness. Whatever the world is facing is temporary. Whatever horror or hardship or challenge or adventure or next decision of yours is part of the magic of existence. Feel comforted to know that this is the truth I'm speaking to you. I'm not bullshitting you. This is my reporting back, my adventures. And I have had many adventures. And the most fulfilling, the happiest adventure of all is when I go within and still my mind and trust the energy that I feel in my being, that I am connected to all in existence. We are all threads in this beautiful woven fabric of here, now, life, existence. Right now, I need to hear music, a bird singing, a group of people chanting a divine name, an orchestra thrilling my senses, because words are so insignificant to describe oneness. Oneness is the reason for living. Oneness is the antidote to fear. Oneness is also love. That simple word, love, has so many meanings. Love is more than an emotion. Love is a state of being, a state of mind. The more you experience this state of connectedness deep inside of you, through using your breath or a mantra or chanting or becoming a part of a cellular leaf, a gust of wind, the more you experience that oneness, the more you emanate the joy that oneness is. Bliss, wholeness, peace, love. Following your breath, going deeper into your breath, letting your breath breathe you, exploring your being of oneness, leaving behind willingly who and what you thought you were before you discovered you were oneness. Sometimes people are afraid to connect with this seemingly infinite majesticness of oneness. And that's okay. It'll take familiarity with oneness to embrace it fully, because there is a process of purification to release the obstacles that we need to release all those fearful things. And they will arise, but it's okay, because for each thing that arises, you dive into it and let it show you where it wants to take you. If you try to resist it, it'll keep popping up somewhere. Like fear. I'll talk about fear. My last experience with resisting oneness was fear. It was after many, many other feelings of unworthiness and shame and guilt and blah, blah, blah had already come up. The last one was the big one, that the others are just a costume of fear, wearing different masks. For me, when fear came, a teacher told me, because I couldn't figure out why is it coming. I have nothing to be fearful of. The teacher said, you can't understand why, it just is, but you must go into that fear because it's there. And so I waited for it to bubble up, like you're cooking a stew, and one by one the flavors are released and become part of the beautiful pot of stew you're making. So finally, fear bubbled up. And I listened to my teacher, my meditation teacher, and I got very alone, no disturbances, and I courageously dove into the fear. And it was awesome. It was many different levels of awesomeness. And the experience was challenging in a meditation. But I stuck with it because I knew that oneness was my goal. And this was a form of purification I had to go through. So I stuck with it, the journey. It didn't take long, but it was indescribably awesome. And when I finished and I came out the other side of that fear from some unknown source, I was free. I was free of this lifelong curse of a nameless fear. And it never, ever, ever came back to my being. So I urge you, don't be afraid. If you want to explore oneness, go through whatever bubbles up in your stew of consciousness, one by one, until one day, I can't tell you how long. It could be very, very quick. It could be a lifetime endeavor. But eventually you will bust through all obstacles, and your soul will be free, and you will not only experience oneness, you will be oneness. Connect to that breath. Cross over the bridge of any resistance. Cling to your breath. Find a mantra that works for you, that has a spiritual charge. The one I use was given to me by my beloved meditation teacher. And when it disappears, and I am one with the universal energy of existence, I ride that wave of connectedness as long as I can, until either a thought comes, and once again I say, oh, I need to focus on the breath again, or the mantra, and then I go in and out, exploring oneness. The breath, energy, healing, soothing, peacefulness, acceptance of what is, action of love, choosing positive, saying no to negatives, believing in the true essence of consciousness, which has no definition except to experience it. If you're tired of being sick and tired and confused, this is the path for you. It doesn't take long. If you don't have this much time every day, just focus on one breath, and you will be in that state. Because once you have experienced oneness, it's yours. Just focus on your breath, and all is well. Right here, right now.